Can you reject a customer? Well, if you are in a service-based industry, then this video is for you. Most of the times you might have come across in terms of converting any specific lead, and sometimes you feel it difficult that sales are not getting generated because you are not able to convert the leads. Now, with respect to that, there is another segment where some people, or I would say most of the people, face this situation typically in a service-based industry where you feel like, I don't want this person as my client, but should I take this person? Should I not take this person? Because if I take this person, I will have another client in my list, or I'll get some testimonial or whatever it is. The confusion between whether to have this client or not, although you know the answer innately, depends on several factors. But somewhere intuitively you know that I don't want to work with this person as a client because of some kind of reason of whatever parameter you have set to select somebody as a client of yours. Okay, so the first aspect is, when you are in a service-based industry, you are providing services to individual or a group of individuals or businesses, but majorly you are directly interacting with the person out there. So what happens, that person becomes your client, even though there might be certain companies, corporates, etc., who might be your client, but ultimately you are interacting with somebody or a group of people. Now, when it is, again, I'm stressing on the service-based business, is because the outcome most of the time is measured with a tangible output, tangible measurement factor. But in some cases, it might not be a tangible outcome, it might be intangible. Let's say if you are into some kind of mindset coaching or some kind of life coaching or related to energy works, etc. So in that case, what happens is, it becomes important for you to have an outcome which is in terms of measuring factor. Right? But when the person comes and says, well, my life is great, I'm feeling way more confident, I'm able to make better decisions, etc. So these becomes the measurement factors. Now you know that you have taken this person from point A to point B. The transformation is happening, it is moving on. However, during this entire journey for your business, for this service-based business, you might have certain criteria or parameters for the clients. And if you don't, it's important that you create it. What type of clients you want to work with. Typically, it is said that ideally, an ideal client should fulfill these three criteria. Okay, the person needs to be coachable. Coachable in terms of the person should have the willingness to transform or change based on what you are suggesting, how you are working, etc. That acceptance, that willingness, that coachability factor needs to be there. The second is, the person needs to be a decision maker, that whatever you guys are working with, it should not be that the person intakes the information and goes and discusses with somebody, then comes and says, no, we can't work on this, etc. So it's mostly important that the person is a decision maker. And the third aspect is, they should have the ability to pay. This is very straightforward. Now, the first important point over here is the coachability factor. So let me share an example. There is somebody whom I know who runs a network community business. Okay, so when people join the community, they pass business and they share information, they help other businesses to grow, etc. So in that segment, the person's business is that community business. Okay, even in that, the person does not have a specific product as such. But then as well, the person other day was telling me that he has already returned 2 checks of already potential client because he felt that they were not the right kind of people for that community. That means there was a filtration criteria that this person has put in, which is a very wise thing given the kind of scenario it is. Because see, when you are dealing with people, if certain people do not fulfill your set criteria, and one of the biggest factor is the first point, which is coachability, which also relates to certain kind of honesty, integrity, etc. But how would you know if the person is honest and has integrity, right? So that becomes very subjective factor and difficult to find out. So then the next step, you can put some other criteria into it, into figuring out some kind of background check, some kind of form fill up where you understand what kind of answers this person is typing out, so that you know whether this person would be the right fit for your business or not. Because there is a common notion among business owners, typically in a service base, where this age-old concept that the customer is king. Whatever they say, they are right. No, that's a very misconception that you have built in within you. Because see, if the customer is king and you know this is not the right customer or client for your business, you are going to go for a mess. Your entire team is going to suffer. Your business is going to suffer. Your reputation is going to suffer. And of course, the people who are there in the community are also going to suffer. So for that, you need to understand that what are certain parameters. So first point, set up your filtration criteria. Okay, how you're going to select the person. The second important factor is test out. Is this really what I'm thinking is correct, or this is just my assumption, or based on somebody else's information, I am getting influenced? Test out. Second thing is testing. How you test it, it's completely up to you. Whether you talk to the person, whether you do a background check, whatever it is. Then the third important thing is, this is important, but this will take some time, that is observe. Now let's say even if the person has paid and you feel that this person is not right, you can definitely refund that amount. But this entire process might take time, and sometimes you might just know intuitively and you can just return that money. I can share my own personal experience, because a couple of people for whom I have actually refunded that amount, who has already paid half of the amount for the coaching program. But after they paid, and I have a certain aspect of filling up a form, and there is a process through which I select who I work with. So during that process, what the person has written and what the person said, there was some kind of a friction in it, and it created doubts, and I understood that this is not fitting, okay, whatever is being shown to me. So I inquired a little bit, and I realized that this person might be a fantastic client, no money problem, no nothing, but this person is not coachable, and hence I cannot take this person as my client, because if a person is not coachable, what am I going to do with that person? Right? So for that reason, I refunded that amount, because I understood that this is not the right fit. So similarly, if you are in a service-based business, it's important for you to understand who you want to work with. And yes, you have that power to also say yes and a no, even if you're starting off a business. Many people do that. It requires a little bit of head-on decision-making ability, courage, that okay, even if I say no, the money is going, but what is the pros and cons? What am I losing and what am I gaining? If I'm gaining the money, what all thing am I losing? Am I losing any kind of problem, discrepancies in the team, in the community, reputation hampering, etc.? Because if reputation is gone or the community culture is not right, then that money does not matter to a great extent. So there are a lot of parameters that work on it. But if you see in the long term, when you make certain kind of decisions, it becomes easier for you to make harder decisions as well. So that concept of the customer is the king might not be relevant everywhere. So it's your business. You need to think what are the parameters you need to set and how you're going to take it forward. So if you're new to this channel, do subscribe, because it takes good amount of time, energy, effort to create these kind of videos, to bring out these topics, so that somewhere or the other in your life or business, this is actually helping you. And if you have not yet read my book, please go ahead and grab your copy from Amazon, which is 7 Steps from Shame to Being Back in the Game. The link is in the description box as well. This is a book that I have written based on my personal experience of how I came out from a rock bottom phase in life, and I applied the techniques. So there are certain exercises and techniques mentioned in this book you can apply. You can gift this book to somebody who is going through a rock bottom phase in life, and how you can come out of it very easily. So if you have any questions or queries, do write an email to me, or you can drop a comment under this video, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thank you so much.